See, Meghan Markle thinks her latest venture is going to make her a billionaire, and yet she feels guilty about having money. I mean, honestly, this is really getting tiresome.
Lemonada's ad partner is Gretchen Rubin Media. Would get the high end of that because of name recognition. But based on the analytics provided by Fast Company magazine this week, Meghan's made approximately $40,000 for season 1 of Confessions of a Female Founder. Not exactly Spotify money. And if she's trying to be a billionaire.
Absolutely. But why talk about feeling guilty about having money? I mean, we all know that they have it. Why are you talking about it? It's really quite gauche, isn't it?
It is, but that's not the line that I took away from it. She talked about a scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm. Speaking about one of those projects, and that's her lifestyle brand As Ever. Now there's rumours she won't be restocking some of her products, including her jam. We have been talking about this for so long, this can't actually be serious.
She thought she could just show up. No invitation, no approval, no visa, just the name Meghan Markle. And somehow the world would stop and applaud. But this time, the illusion didn't land. The doors didn't open. And India didn't just reject her, it exposed her. Because this wasn't a scheduling mix-up.
We're joined right now by Talk's royal correspondent, Rupert Bell. Very good afternoon to you, Rupert.
Good morning, Julia. I have just about recovered. I heard.
That was going to be my first question. Have you recovered? Because last time I spoke to you, we had new Meghan Sussex, not Meghan Markle, get it right. We had her new lifestyle. I can't remember what it was called. Is it?
We love Meg.
This wasn't some quiet paperwork issue. This was a very public, very firm no. And it's the kind of no that says everything about how far Meghan's brand has fallen, from royal fame to global fatigue. She was never on the guest list. That's the part people keep forgetting. Meghan Markle, former royal, former actress, current lifestyle brand owner, and aspiring media mogul, was never invited to the Miss World 2025 grand finale in Hyderabad. And yet, her team moved like she was the headliner. Outfits were being prepped, stylists briefed, press statements quietly drafted, leaks planted in friendly media outlets.
You know what? That's probably about my level. 5 minutes in. 5 minutes in, she'd gone and got the honey out of the bees. I was going to say bee's nest. That's a wrong thing. Beehive, and then she started making bath bombs for her guests because when people come and stay, she likes to have bath bombs so they can take a sip.
They were already writing the headline before the ticket even existed. Only the ticket never came, because Indian immigration officials didn't just delay her entry; they rejected her visa outright. Full stop. No ceremony, no excuse, no, we'll look into it. And then Miss World organizers dropped the bomb. Meghan was never scheduled, never considered, never even discussed for the event. It was like someone showing up to a wedding they weren't invited to, in a gown they picked out months ago, only to be met with a locked door and a confused crowd. It's the kind of overreach you only attempt when you're used to being told yes.
This was opening the packet of pretzels and putting them into another bag. So that...
I've never thought of that. This is why I'm not a domestic goddess.
I think Jimmy Fallon on his programme in the States has just lampooned that particular moment. So it's definitely one for the...
So how does that even happen? Meghan's PR machine thrives on suggestion. For years now, her name has hovered on the edges of major events, charities, awards, and conferences. Rarely confirmed, but somehow always implied. This is the illusion factory. Hint at involvement. Let the media speculate. And when people believe she's part of something, the job's already halfway done. Because perception for Meghan is everything. Only this time, perception hit a brick wall, a sovereign one. India didn't play along, and when that illusion shattered, the internet erupted. She built a brand on being almost everywhere. But eventually, the world wants receipts. Tweets mocked her supposed royal status.
Last week, while you were ill, I managed to have a complete change of direction. So went to Cheltenham for a week and managed to avoid too much Meghan talk. But Cheltenham's now done and dusted.
Now you're back. Well, I hate to tell you.
Back.
Well, I want to talk more about Prince Harry, but just want to finish on Meghan.
TikToks dissected the fake invite fiasco. Comment sections exploded with memes, receipts, and brutal honesty. One post summed it up best. If Meghan Markle wants a role at Miss World, she should apply like the rest of us, with merit, not entitlement. And that wasn't coming from trolls, that came from journalists, from pageant fans, from Indian citizens who felt like their national event was being treated as a publicity prop. Because that's what this was, a PR move, not a public service. And this time, people weren't buying it. For someone who once demanded global privacy, she sure has a habit of publicly inserting herself into spaces that didn't ask. But this backlash wasn't just about Meghan. It was about what she represents to many outside the UK and US. Celebrity entitlement cloaked in activism. Meghan expected to be welcomed like royalty in a country she's barely engaged with, for an event she had no official role in. But India doesn't do soft diplomacy when the foundation is fake.
It's not so much that the As Ever brand won't be trademarked, but she failed to sign the form. But she's actually got to explain what she's selling. She said she's selling a few lifestyle sort of products, but she's actually got to be a bit more specific. You know,
And Miss World isn't just a red carpet photo op. It's a symbol of female empowerment, service, and merit-based recognition. And Meghan, she tried to cut the line, but India didn't just say no. It said, "You don't belong here." Here's what's dangerous. Meghan still operates like she's wearing a crown, not legally, not politically, but strategically, in the way she walks into rooms, issues demands, expects deference. But India isn't Buckingham Palace. They don't bend to titles, and they definitely don't roll out carpets for self-styled guests. This wasn't a snub. It was a statement. It told the world.
Deemed, you basically fling that in front of your daughter and say, just eat that fruit, probably.
I'd like to point out that after this conversation, I did actually send Rupert a WhatsApp picture of a Thai meal that I had made. I haven't sent you all the birthday cakes I've made for my daughter. That's next on the list to prove.
Your fame doesn't override our process. And that's a lesson Meghan wasn't ready to hear. Because for years, her public image has been propped up by Netflix specials, red carpet moments, and sympathetic profiles. But real diplomacy, real impact, that's earned, not assumed. This wasn't a fall from grace. It was a reminder she never earned that place to begin with. And this is far from the first time her PR playbook has backfired. Remember the Spotify deal collapse? The abandoned podcast? The lawsuits against tabloids that dragged on for years? Or the palace staff allegations that still linger in the public's memory? One by one, those ventures failed to land. And this Miss World saga just adds another item to the growing list of Meghan Markle's international shutouts. Even her lifestyle brand, which includes jam, bath products, and reportedly nothing fully trademarked, has become a meme. In fact, reports suggest she didn't even complete the basic trademark paperwork for her As Ever label. Another rollout rushed before it was ready. And when your jam is more famous than your mission, you've got a branding problem. Make no mistake.
The payroll, but there we are. But this is what I don't get. She's got this massive payroll of people who she seems to go through a new person virtually every week. She doesn't seem to have anyone on the payroll who can do their job.
Well, this is it. You know, launch it, but make sure that all the ducks are in a row. And I'm not sure, you know, if she's making all this jam, where's the supplier? Where?
This wasn't just a rejected visa. It was a global reality check. India didn't just deny her entry, it denied the narrative. And it denied the entitlement. It saw through the spin and shut it down before it could even start. And that's rare, because usually Meghan's critics are limited to the UK press or anonymous online chatter. But when an entire country's immigration department and an international pageant organization say absolutely not, that's a different level. It's not petty. It's principled. It's a reminder that no matter how tightly you cling to the crown, you can't wear it where it doesn't fit. Even in the US, the Heritage Foundation has filed formal requests to uncover her immigration records, a move that signals just how far public skepticism is spreading. The truth is this: Meghan Markle has built a reputation not on walking the walk, but on crafting the appearance of movement. Miss World, however, is not about appearances. It's about purpose, community, impact.
In the country.
Yeah.
So there's a huge business behind it. Are we seeing anything but as ever? Yes, she may want to sell some jams, but if you're going to make a profit, you've got to sell an awful lot of jam.
Yeah, absolutely, and at a very high price. Well, I mean, look, they're trying to keep her maintain.
It's for women who serve, uplift, and lead, and no leaked press release or PR campaign can fake that. That's why the backlash hit so hard, because it wasn't just a celebrity misstep. It was an insult to what the event actually stands for. And when even neutral countries like India start closing their doors, the message is clear. You can't stage your way into spaces that demand sincerity. Meghan's team seemed shocked by the rejection. Reports suggest she lashed out behind closed doors, furious that she wasn't treated like royalty. But here's the hard truth. That chapter is closed. The monarchy has moved on. Prince William and Catherine are building actual credibility abroad. They don't need headlines to prove their relevance. And Meghan? She's still chasing the spotlight, long after walking away from the responsibilities that came with it. But eventually, the world gets tired. Tired of the spin, tired of the stunts, tired of the noise. And that brings us here, to a former Duchess standing outside the gates of Miss World in Hyderabad, wondering why they didn't let her in, to a red carpet that never rolled out, a seat that was never reserved, a stage that didn't need her name. Because relevance isn't inherited, it's earned. And Miss World 2025 will move forward without Meghan Markle.